Juan Soto turned down an offer from the Nationals for a reportedly 15-year, $440 million deal, according to John Heyman and a whole bunch of other sources. Now that he's turned down a third offer from Nationals, the Nationals are like, okay, we're going to trade your butt. Now, all these teams are like, yeah, we'll trade for Juan Soto. He's still 22, right? No, he's not 22 anymore, but he's still a heck of a baseball player. So a lot of Astros fans are like, hey, can we trade for Juan Soto? We're going to look at this on this special edition of the Locked on Astros podcast, Trade Edition. And we'll talk about this now.
Hello and welcome to Locked on Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Heisman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chansey.
We are Locked on Houston Astros, and we hope that you join us for a daily Locked on Astros podcast. My name is Eric Heisman. You find me on Twitter at Eric Talks Shows. Find the show at Locked on Astros, your team every day. Brett, where can they find you at?
They can find me at H-Town Wheelhouse on Twitter and Instagram, and at Astros411 on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Always positive. Let's go get a big name. Always Stros.
Alrighty, so thank you for making the Locked on Astros podcast your first listen every day. Where it's on YouTube, make sure you go and find us on YouTube. Just search Locked on Astros, hit that little red subscribe button, give us a like while you're at it, and go and search for us on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast. Go and check out the Locked on Astros podcast and make us your first listen every day. And we got a lot that we're going to talk about. We had y'all kind of give us your trade ideas. We're going to go and talk about some of the ideas that we're going to be kind of discussing. And today's episode is brought to you by Blue Nile. Blue Nile, make the moment sparkle with jewelry from BlueNile.com. And Locked On Sports listeners get $50 off purchases of $500 or more. This podcast exclusive includes engagement. And use the code Locked On at checkout. So I know that the Astros may not have a lot of weaknesses, but there are a few weaknesses. A lot of people say, well, what about catcher? Martin Maldonado has shown in July he's not just a defensive catcher. But you might say, well, Corey Lee, the Astros seem a little bit hesitant of starting him more than once a week. So maybe you need a backup catcher. What about first base? Yuli Gurriel has been playing a little bit better, but could you get an upgrade at first base? Then there's been some talk about maybe center fielder. Jake Myers has been playing good, but could you go out and get that superstar or a star or somebody out there in center field? And there's always talk about maybe getting another ace for the rotation. You can never have enough starting pitching for the playoffs, right?
That's right. And I'm sitting here, when you mentioned Juan Soto, I immediately went to Baseball Trade Values, which we used. We'll be looking at a friend's site, Larry the GM, as well. Some various sites that talk about trades and trade values. And I can tell you right now that according to MLBTradeValues.com, Juan Soto has a value of 193.7. I am trying to get enough players chalked up and put in the coffers to offer the Nationals a pick. And I'm going to mention some names that y'all probably aren't going to like or want to hear.
Hunter
But they
Brown.
definitely, he is one of them. They are definitely going to want to go for the jugular here. They're going to want everything. So I'm going to throw in some names, and I'm going to tell me what you think about this. Of course, I'm not even there yet. Hold on. I'm still building this trade. It's like, okay, let me throw him in and see if I can. I'm still not there. So right
They're
now,
going to want a major league pitcher,
so,
probably. They're going to probably
so
want
here's the
a
thing,
major league
Eric.
ready outfielder.
Well, here's
They're going to want to rebuild the Nationals by
here you
trading.
go. Exactly. No, they are. Let's see. Let's go ahead and throw in Chaz. I mean, so this is a deal. I got to 195.10. It's probably a little bit of an overpay, but it literally requires, of course, I put four starting pitchers in there. I put Hunter Brown, Luis Garcia, Christian Javier, Chas McCormick, and Framber Valdez. Let's see if I can take Javier out of there to lessen the sting of.
I'm gonna block. I'm gonna block H Town Wheelhouse for the rest of this podcast for that trade offer, and it's just gonna be the Eric podcast for the rest of the show. I'm trying to bring you back on, dude. Okay, come on.
Okay, so no, so this is how ridiculous a
I know.
trade for Juan Soto is. You are literally going to have to get rid of major pieces, building blocks. This is not getting a 39-year-old Greinke and being able to trade, two or three guys that are prospects that aren't, I mean, actually all prospects for the most part. And, Rojas, he's up and down. Seth Beer's actually in AAA now. Saw him play the other day. Corbin Martin is actually coming back to his old self. Boustakis is basically, I'm sure he's like a year or two either out of the system or out of the league. He's not very successful. The thing is, people want someone like a Juan Soto because it's a big splash. No matter what you offer, the Dodgers or the Yankees are going to offer more. But the Yankees, are they going to go after Juan Soto? They can't even decide if they want to pay their star player, Aaron Judge. The Dodgers seem to have an endless amount of money coming from I don't know where, but that is why I was naming that. I was literally
I know.
trying to build this trade, and it's literally going to take, I mean, let's just do this. Let's just do this for
But Brett,
good.
I really don't know if it's gonna take all those type talent. I think the fact that Juan Soto is a free agent, he's not under team control. It's gonna take a big package, but you're not gonna have to throw in
No,
names
Juan
like Framber
Soto,
Valdez.
I thought Juan Soto still has 2 years of control, Eric. He's
He
not a
does?
free agent. Yes, he still has. I believe he still has 2 years. His
Oh, okay.
contract goes for another 2 years. So you're dealing with a guy 2 years of control. That's why his value is so high on MLB trade values. Now,
Ew.
let's get out of La La Land and let's look at
Oh, you're right.
something.
Okay.
Yeah, let's let's look at Luis Castillo. Luis Castillo is going to be hot on the trail of the Yankees and the Dodgers, the Padres. All these teams there've been a bunch of teams named. I'm sure any team that has a pulse has named him as someone they want to get. Now, Luis Castillo's value is at 38.50. Okay. Getting to Luis Castillo at 38.5 is a whole lot easier than Juan Soto at nearly 200. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to name some names that I put together just on the fly. So if you're coming to the show to analyze my trade proposal, I haven't done a ton of research, but these are players that I think you would not have a massive problem trading. Colin Barber, 3.9. Mauricio Dubon, 6.1. Chas McCormick, 18.2. Jose Urquidy, 10.5. That brings me at 38.7. Castillo's 38.5. You have a starting pitcher in the major league. You have you have an infielder and an outfielder, and you have Colin Barber, who is projected to be the center fielder come 2024, where you have maybe Pedro Leon. If he's up there, he moves to left. If you get rid of Myers, you have Myers. You have this plethora, but Colin Barber has a ton of tools. Colin Barber, that's a high price to pay. A lot of people don't know about him, but he has got a high projected number with him.
Right. And I actually agree with him going. He's probably going to go in any type of big name trade. I do think that Jose Urquidy going in that trade would probably be a little much, but maybe I could see another prospect going. I think a team like the Reds, they don't need an Urquidy in that situation. I'm not disagreeing with your
Well,
package.
but
You're
they're
trying.
not. Right. But you're not going to give a major league talent like that and not get major league pitching back.
The Reds don't need major league pitching. They need stuff for the future because they're not trying to really win right now.
Technically,
Because
Jose
they're
Urquidy could be your future. That guy's going to have a long career. He hasn't pitched many years.
Yeah.
He didn't pitch that, you know what I'm saying? So he could fit that bill. Now, I understand your counterpoint. It makes sense, right?
They could also
They're
flip him too.
very easily they could flip him, and he's got team control. And so it's just one of those things. And so in this trade show, we're merely speculating, okay? Um I'm gonna as we're talking, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna look at the trade proposals that our followers gave to us on Twitter.
Okay.
Okay.
Before we do that, I think we need like anybody that gets traded away. Sometimes you have to kind of have a little parting gift. Maybe something that you maybe get online. Maybe something special for like maybe your catcher. Let's say you get traded away and you want to get something nice for your catcher. Maybe something from BlueNile.com. How about that, Brett?
Yeah, BlueNile.com is one of these. It is an amazing product. Okay, let me tell you why I like Blue Nile. Blue Nile is here for everybody at any price point. It's not just for the high income adults where it kind of started, but as a Blue Nile customer, you can celebrate all of life's special moments, from creating custom engagement rings for her dreams to gifting a classic and timeless jewelry piece at all prices you won't find at any traditional jeweler. That's right. Um, Whether you're ready to pop the question or you're celebrating a milestone moment, find jewelry as unique as her with the modern convenience of online shopping at BlueNile.com. Blue Nile has simple online tools that let you choose the diamond shape, size, and clarity, as well as the setting style, like the engagement ring of her dreams. Blue Nile's bench jewelers will then handcraft her perfect engagement ring. Each ring is one of a kind. Looking for fine jewelry but having trouble choosing? Blue Nile has jewelry experts on hand 24/7, available via phone or chat to help you find a memorable gift for every budget. Make your moment sparkle with jewelry from BlueNile.com. And going on now, the Blue Nile anniversary sale, save up to 40%. That's right, 40% on classic fine jewelry pieces and 25% on engagement ring settings. Plus, every order is insured, ships free, and arrives in discreet packaging that won't give away what's inside. Shop stress free and find your forever piece. Go to BlueNile.com today.
Hey guys, you know what's coming up? It's the Yankee series, and if you're not able to go to that doubleheader, I'm sorry you can't make it. But you know, a good alternate is go to Hooters of NASA to watch them play. That's gonna be epic matchup: the Astros versus Yankees. Probably an ALCS preview. Which team is going to go to World Series? I don't know, but why don't you eat some great food and drink some great brews and with the world famous Hooters girls. And it's just a great place to just be there, just to watch the Astros, because guess what? They love the Astros just as much as you love the Wings. So come hang out with the world famous Hooters girls. Anytime the Astros play, you'll see and hear all the action because they love the Astros. Try the world famous wings. They have the original Hooter style, the Daytona Beach style, the smoked roasted style, naked or boneless, and any of the 15 plus sauces. They have 5 dry rubs along with ice cold beer at Hooters of NASA. And come enjoy happy hour, or should we say happy owl specials, Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. And don't forget about Thursday, which will be the day of the Yankees game. They have Thursday with drink specials all day. Come hang out where the Locked On Astros boys like to hang out and watch the Astros with great grub and great brews. Ask them what their featured beers are on tap and tell them that the boys at Locked On Astros sent you by. They're conveniently located next to the NASA Value Shopping Center in Baybrick Mall in Webster, Texas. Come see them from lunch, after work, for dinner, or to celebrate a special occasion. So I know the anytime the Astros play the Yankees, that's a special occasion. So go check them out. And I want to kind of add a little quote here to Luis Castillo. I know a lot of people will be like, "Well, why are we even talking about him?" And Eric Bolin on Twitter said that the Yankees are obviously among the large group with of teams with an interest in Luis Castillo. Also in that group, the Astros. A straw poll of rival evaluators elicit the same answer regarding if Houston has the system to pay the high price. Oh, absolutely. This will be a fascinating sweepstakes. So, a lot of people are speculating that even the Yankees beat writer Sweeney Murty says, "I've heard the Astros are also in on Castillo. Competition like this can drive up the price. Probably still early for this to happen for that reason." But a lot of people are saying that the Astros could seriously be in this. And if they are, it's not just about 2022, but it could also be for 2023 as well, because the Astros, like, if they're going to trade for a pitcher and go all in, they like to do it for somebody that has team control, because you know that did that with Zach Greinke, they did it with Verlander. If they're going to trade for somebody, they don't like to do it for the rentals. They've done it. They did it last year with Yimi Garcia and with Kendall Graveman, but they just kind of had to. The deal was just too good to pass up. But they rather do it with like somebody like Phil Maton, which they did for Miles Straw in that situation. So
Yeah, and this year it is going to be a little bit more tricky, not only because you've got the big dogs that are all looking for something, especially with Luis Severino being down for the Yankees, Joey Gallo, there's talks of him being pretty much released at some point. The Dodgers have had their share of injury issues. Everybody wants to be tooled up properly for the playoffs. And so the Houston Astros, we got one guy, he goes by Fog Chris Hayes on Twitter. He says, "What about CJ Crone for Siri or Chaz? Garcia or Akiti and a prospect outside of our top four." Now, I don't think he knows, but CJ Crone's value is only a 5.9. So I don't see them getting near needing to ship near that much off for a CJ Crone to the Rockies. Someone that would get you a CJ Crone would be Jose Siri, and you don't even need to go a pitcher there. You could go Jose Siri or Mauricio Dubon. You could send Dubon to them, and Dubon is actually valued higher than Crone. You wouldn't want to overpay for that. And see, that's what is key here is looking at, Eric, what are the other team's needs? Okay, and I don't know every team's need,
do you
and
know what
how
CJ
much.
Chrome's stats are?
I do not know what his stats are.
Okay.
Well,
He's got 21 home runs already.
oh,
He's
okay. Well, maybe
he's
his. I
got
mean,
a 296 batting average.
oh,
He's
you know what?
got
Okay, there
69
you go.
RBIs.
Oh,
He's
you
got
know
an
what? He's
OPS
having.
plus of 138.
Okay, well, maybe then you are
He's
gonna
an
have to
all-star.
give up. Okay, so you know, just let it be known that I'm sitting here looking at the trade values. I wasn't looking at how he's doing this year. So my apologies for not knowing the Colorado Rockies first baseman statistics. Um, but
You could
yeah,
say
so
maybe that's just a Rockies effect, but he did
you
have a down 2020. But in 2019, he did have 25 home runs. 2018, he had 30 home runs. So this is who he is, and he's actually on pace to have a career season.
well, let's look. His home split 16 home runs. His away split, his away home runs 5. His his home average 351, OPS 1075. His batting average on the road 229, OPS 695. So that
Okay,
might
Debbie
bite you.
Downer.
That Hey, no, I'm
Yeah.
just telling you, dude. He's got 65 hits at home and 35 on the road.
He is in the middle of a 2-year, $14.5 million deal. So it does have one more year of team control. So
CJ Crone would not be a bad upgrade at first base. And I think being at Minute Maid Park, being a hitter's park, Eric, wouldn't be a bad trade. But like you said, with the year he's having, does that up his immediate value? So does that get you someone, I mean, Dubon and McCormick, but, McCormick, because
no,
McCormick's value right now is 18.2.
I think they're going to want pitching because they're desperate for they're probably going to want ground ball pitchers and the
But
to kind of.
you're not going to give up a Jose Urquidy who's valued at a 10 for CJ Crone who's valued at 5.
I'm not necessarily saying Urquidy, but who
Yeah.
knows what's going to happen. But all right, what's the next idea?
So the next idea, someone said an unpopular opinion. They would like to stand pat and not do anything. Maybe go get Bell. So that's not really an offer. Sorry, I thought that was an offer. I was looking at it. And then you got people that are talking about Juan Soto again. I'm not going to go over that. Andrew Chafin for either Siri or Chaz. I've got an Andrew Chafin proposal here. Chafin from the Tigers sending Abreu and Perez. Perez, a third baseman, also could be a first baseman. He's come back from a recent injury, so I don't know how that plays in the cards, Eric, but that gets you at a 4 trade value. Chafin has a 4.3. You probably got to pay a little bit more than what I'm offering there, but someone like an Abreu does have value. The Tigers, if they want pitching, maybe you go Abreu and Pete Solomon, who has a 2.9. That gets you a little bit over for Chafin. Maybe you're paying a little bit too much, but you get Chafin, your left-handed relief pitcher you need. It depends on what the value is. What do you think about that?
Chafin has a $6.5 million player option for 2023. So you do have the option if he wants to stay with you for the next season. You can, I believe, you can work in the trade. Hey, before we do this trade, we want you to pick up the player option. So I believe you can kind of work that into the trade. But he is having a decent season. He's 0-1 with a 2.22 ERA. He has in 33 games, he has a 9.53 whip with 34 strikeouts and 28.1 innings pitched. So he would be your lefty specialist type guy. He would give Dusty Baker that guy he hasn't really had in the bullpen almost all season since Blake
Well,
Taylor has gone on IL. So
exactly. So his WOBA versus left-handed hitters is 248, and his ex WOBA versus left-handed hitters is 234. His WOBA versus right-handed hitters, which is weighted on base average, is 214. His expected weighted on base average is 271. Okay. He's been consistent. He has a 2.26 expected ERA, and I'm getting this comes from MLB trade values, also comes from Larry the GM's articles. Um, the Tigers are they want a team with a future, okay, but due to injuries, they're probably at least a year or two away. So he actually has Chafin for Perez and Solomon and a lower level prospect. So I wasn't far off on my proposal for Chafin, and I put Abreu, Perez, and Solomon. Maybe they don't want Abreu. Maybe they want 3 prospects. Maybe you do Perez, Solomon, and Jonathan Sprinkle or Joe Record, who's up in AAA.
yeah,
And
teams like the Tigers and the Reds, they're not going to want major league arms.
you're right.
Mostly, they're going to
You're
want
right.
prospects.
Yeah, so I'll scrap that. So Solomon and Perez, who I had in one of their lower level pick, I think Chafin, you could get that done pretty easily. What
But
about
other
Bennett?
teams are going to go after him too.
Right?
So
What about Benintendi, Eric?
I think the Royals are a team that probably has a lot of people that they could trade. Whit Merrifield is a guy that's come out and kind of hinted that, well, if you trade me to a competitor, I'll get vaccinated. Otherwise, I will not. But I think that Benintendi is a guy that you could go out and get.
I mean,
It's
he's
just
having a
the
great
matter.
year.
Yeah, it's just a matter of how much are you willing to
So
kind of bet on Benintendi kind of continue that success, and how much are you willing to give up on that? And we'll kind of continue this conversation in a second, but let's talk about
yeah,
Bet Online.
So betonline.net is the number one source for all your betting needs and sports info. Find all the latest sports developments, league reviews, and news, including this year's Major League Baseball playoffs, Major League Baseball All-Star game, whatever it is you're watching, go check it out. BetOnline.net remains the best spot for all your sports scores, podcasts, and news this season. BetOnline.net is the fastest and easiest way to check on all of your favorite sports and events, including MMA, boxing, and golf. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends and action. Bet online where the game starts. So Eric, you were talking about this, and we were looking at the values of Benintendi's at a 9.3 and what the Astros would have to offer. If the Royals aren't necessarily looking, ooh, there's someone right here that's real close to 9.3, but we don't want to give this guy up. Janyar Diaz is an 8.7. Um, I don't know what the Royals' needs are
He
right
is a
now.
free agent.
So this is a rental.
Yeah.
Oh man, see
He
that's
he is a rental. And he is having a good season. He's batting 317 with 3 home runs. He's got 102 hits, 37 RBIs, 2 stolen bases. His OPS is 786. His OPS plus is 124. So, yes, he is above an average player. He would be an upgrade over possibly. I believe he plays left field, so
how
you'd
about
possibly have.
Chaz? How about Chaz McCormick? Um, JJ Matijevic. See, I don't know. I don't know what these teams are going to value because, dude, we got a ton of proposals in. Not only do we get the Benintendi one, but we also got someone saying Jake Odorizzi for Lourdes Gurriel. I'm like, that don't even make sense. But there's all kinds of stuff, out
He
here.
has
So,
played center field before, but very limited time. He played 30 games in 2017 with the Red Sox in center field. He played 5 games in 2016.
mm,
He did play 24 games in 2018. So he's not really a center fielder. He can play center field, but I think he's more of a corner infielder. He's played more games in left field than he has in left or no, he hasn't played right field hardly at all. So he's been left field or center field.
So there are a couple other left-handed arms that are kind of rumored to be on the move. In that Sam Mole from Oakland, we just recently saw him in Joe um, Mataply. Or yeah, Mantiply is how you say it. And these are guys. Mantiply is 31, and I'm not sure how old this Mole kid is. Sam
He's
Mole. I know he's
20. Wait, hold on. He
I
is
believe
30.
he's younger. He's 30.
He's
Okay.
30.
So 30, 30, 31. Chafin's 32. These guys are at great ages. And there's a lot of people mentioning guys like Perez, Solomon, Muchinski, lower level prospects for these guys. So I think if you want to go out and get a left handed relief pitcher, it's going to be in the cards. But this is what's weird, Eric. And I don't know if you've seen this. The chatter from the Astros is, oh, we think we're fine with our starting pitching and our relief pitching. And I'm like, really? Like, so today before the game, I don't know if you were there early enough, and I don't know if they did it when fans were there or before the fans got there. Did you know Lance McCullers was throwing to Jose Siri and a couple of the Astros before the game?
No, I didn't see it.
Okay, yeah, it was Chandler Rome or one of the beat writers, one of the sports media guys or girls filmed it, and they said, Lance McCullers is throwing BP to, and I think it was Siri and I think McCormick and a couple others. So he's getting closer.
Right.
Lance McCullers, I think, comes in. He ends up being a starter. I think one of these guys is on the trading block, Eric. I really do. Michael Brantley, there's absolutely no timetable. Um, Let me ask you this on this trade show because this is going to come out after the All Star game. The All Star game's already been played or being played as you're watching this live on YouTube. What do you think about Jose Altuve deciding not to play in the All Star game, even though he played Saturday in Houston? Do you think
Uh,
it's a slap in the Dodgers? I mean, do you think that's like an anti-Dodgers thing? He didn't want to
George
deal with the
Springer did.
boots.
Yeah, George Springer did the same thing with the Blue Jays. He's playing with the Blue Jays, but he said, "I'm gonna rest. I'm gonna sit out the All Star game."
Oh yeah,
And
these. So this is what I love, Eric. And I mean, hold on, because I asked you, what do you think about that? Like what's your first thoughts about that?
well, I think it goes back to the Justin Verlander debate. Like, well, why did you rest him? Because the Astros don't give a crap about the All Star game. They're looking for October. They're looking for the World Series, and they want to make sure that they are rested, they are healthy. They don't care about an exhibition game. With people like Framber Valdez and Forrest Whitley, no, not Forrest Whitley, Kyle Tucker, not Forrest Whitley, but
That was
Kyle
a
Tucker.
Freudian slip.
Yes, it's getting a little late, but Kyle Tucker and some of the guys making their first All Star game. This is something a little bit different. If Alvarez was healthy, he would be in there. But for
So
these guys that have been here, it's man. I'm not saying it's not special, but if they're hurt or if they've just pitched, they're gonna take it. They're gonna edge on the side of caution just to make sure that they don't injure themselves.
yeah, and I see that. I just was like, this. I think
It
it's
has
pretty
nothing to do
interesting.
with the playing at Dodger Stadium. It has
I
nothing to do
know.
with
I'm
that.
just saying. It just seemed a little interesting that it happened to be in LA, and Altuve's like, yeah, I'm good, and he played today because that's what the national commentary is going to be,
Well,
the
he didn't
national
put his
story.
foot out there. It was in Anaheim that idiot pitcher threw the slider at
You're
and hit
right.
him. So
It's right. He accidentally hit him, just like Jordan Alvarez accidentally got hit in the
and credit
knee
to the
several
umpires in
times.
that game for not throwing any warnings because there were 3 batters hit in that game, I believe, and I was like, "Oh, I thought that there would be some warnings thrown because it looked a little bit suspicious there for a while there."
Yeah, it did. And, but hey, the first half of the season, Eric, this has been a great run. It's going to be fun to see what the Astros do at the trade deadline. Thank y'all. Thank you, everyone. Midpoint of the season. I mean, this is probably the most successful first half of a season we've had here at Locked on Astros. I love it. We continue to grow because of you guys and girls that watch us. I know Eric feels the same way, but from me, again, humbled, thankful, grateful to be your podcasting co-host with Eric the Man Heisman. Eric, you got any parting words for us on this episode?
Yeah, I actually want to give you some over under. What's the over
Okay.
under the Astros make a one trade? I mean,
Make one trade.
yeah,
It's
you take the
oh
over or under.
I'm taking the over. I think they make I I think they make one trade for sure. Then they may make two.
Okay. I think they may make one big trade and then one small trade just to kind of offset something.
Okay.
Maybe just make room on the 40-man roster or something like that. I don't know, but we'll see what happens. But I think this is definitely going to be, we got what, by the time you are watching this, maybe 13 days left in July for this to kind of go. But there's a lot of time left, and we're going to keep you covered on the Locked On Astros podcast. So make sure you tune in every day. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Make us your first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Check us out. We are the Locked On Astros podcast, your team every day.